On a Thanksgiving day of our football dreams, we start with Turkey Day takes. D. Wood, the early game, Packers and Lions. What are you thinking?
Oh, it's all about Jordan Love. Which Jordan Love are we going to get? Usually this time of year, this is when Jordan Love really starts locking in. He starts being that guy that we all consider one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, and going up against this Lions defense that likes to play a lot of man-to-man coverage. Can Jordan Love cook on Thanksgiving?
And can his receivers catch on Thanksgiving? It feels like one of the keys, J-Mac, no?
That's part of the receiver's job. Bill Belichick used to always say, get open and catch the football. If you can do those two things, you can play in the National Football League.
They're pretty good at the first one. They tend to struggle sometimes with the second. All right, Joe has, I'm not sure how many spicy dishes we serve on Thanksgiving, but he's got a spicy one for tonight.
Ludicrous that Joe Burrow's playing in this game. You're 3-8 on your way to 3-9. You have the worst defense in the NFL, which means even if you even think about coming back late in the season, you're not going to stop anybody in the playoffs. Your next 3 games are Ravens today, Bills next week, and Ravens after that. You're risking his future and his health moving forward. Absurd he would play today.
Schefter, he wanted to play last week, right?
Yeah, and I think Zach Taylor stepped in on Friday and said, let's wait here. There's going to be a 2 games and 5-day stretch in your best interest not to play this week against New England, which probably cost them the game in the end. If he had played, they might have won. But he'll be back tonight. They're touting it. Jamar Chase is back from suspension. The Bengals are ready to roll, and they're not eliminated yet. They're not eliminated yet.
I want to come back to that. I've been waiting for someone to give me that take all week. I'm coming back to it. But next, J-Mac, let's go to the Turkey Day game of our lives. Chiefs and Cowboys, what are you thinking?
Dak Prescott, this is your moment. Go out there with everyone watching. Probably the most watched regular season game in NFL history. Patrick Mahomes on the other side. Go have a day. You're going to have CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens out there on the outside. Find a way to get the ball to your guys and not only have a day, win this daggone football game and let everybody know the Cowboys are for real.
So the Cowboys are looking to get above 500 for the first time this year. They have a 9% chance to make the playoffs right now. That would increase to 17% with a win, but they would be on a bit of a run. On the flip side, it would be all over for them. Cowboys cannot afford a loss today. Their chances of making the playoffs would fall to 4%. So the conversation feels like it starts with Dak Prescott until I turn to Damien Woody and you tell me that's not where it starts.
No, it starts with the Dallas defense going up against Patrick Mahomes. Listen, you talk about this Kansas City offensive line that's going to be missing Trey Smith, their Pro Bowl offensive guard. Now you're going up against this interior defensive tandem in Dallas with Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark. We've seen how much of a disruptive force Quinnen Williams has been since the trade deadline. This man has been an absolute monster. And so here's what you got to do. Can you bring down Patrick Mahomes? Can you affect Patrick Mahomes? Because we can talk about the Chiefs running the football, all those type of things. This game's going to come down to how well can this Cowboys defense affect Patrick Mahomes. It starts with those 2 interior defensive linemen for the Dallas Cowboys.
Let me immediately put up, if I can, the numbers. The difference in the numbers for the Cowboys defense in these last 2 games, right, Schefter? And you were the one who pointed this out. The last 2 games. Now, of course, it's a small sample size. One of these teams that they played was the Raiders, who fired their offensive coordinator not long thereafter. So they're bad. But you see the numbers. They have been markedly better. And the Eagles, as much as they've struggled on offense, that's still the defending Super Bowl champs. So, Schefter, the defense has been demonstrably better.
And it's not just Quinnen Williams. It's Demarion Overshawn. It's speed. It's power. It's playmakers on the defensive side. The numbers bear it out. And today they get a test against the Chiefs offense. But you mentioned Trey Smith missing from the interior part of the Chiefs offensive line. That's a big loss going up against that improved Dallas Cowboys defensive front.
And one of the reasons is because the Chiefs ran the ball effectively last week. Rex Ryan has been begging them to run it. They finally did, and it worked. But the name you mentioned there, Demarion Overshawn, he's a player who came in highly touted, was playing great, got a terrible knee injury last year. He's only been back these 2 weeks, J-Mac, and look at the difference he's made.
And Schefter just mentioned the word speed. When he's on the football field, it's a difference with the Dallas Cowboys. And I think he has a huge part today because where he's going to be aligned, he's going to be in the middle of the field. And Patrick Mahomes, something that he is special at is extending plays and scrambling. A lot of those scrambles take place through the middle of the defense. Overshown is going to be the guy tasked with having to pull him down. He may be the spy of Patrick Mahomes throughout parts of this game. He's also going to be out there in zone coverage in the middle of this defense that Dallas runs. Rashee Rice coming across the middle, Xavier Worthy, all of those guys, Travis Kelce, that's where they do their damage. So if the Cowboys win this game, number 0 on the defense is going to be the guy when you come in here tomorrow morning that you're going to be talking about.
Now, over the many years that I've been doing this job, I have been at times, I think, incorrectly accused of being a professional overreactor. I sometimes overreact to things like a small sample size, 2 games of the Cowboys defense looking much better, 91 offensive snaps, but maybe the defense a little worn down, so maybe we do see big offensive days today. And if we do, perhaps it begins with George Pickens. I turn to the corner over at the end of the table. The Cowboys have that 2-headed monster at wide receiver right now, and it feels like Pickens is the one who's really emerged.
Damn, George Pickens is so good. Like that, watching him play, it's like I'm happy I'm behind the desk and I'm watching this and I don't have to be out there tasked with covering him. But I do think, to your point, how Steve Spagnuolo decides to defend these 2 guys, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, some of it to me comes down to maybe doubling George Pickens and then singling up CeeDee Lamb. So you're going to see it. They were playing against the Detroit Lions. That's a Amon-Ra St. Brown at the bottom of the screen. A double team on him. And then their best corner up top, Trent McDuffie, is matched up on Jameson Williams. We could see that this afternoon. Spagnuolo will be able to go out there and task them with that. Then when all is said and done, Spagnuolo's going to dial it up. He's going to come after the quarterback. That's what he does. So forget about all of these different schemes and all of that. At some point, I'm sending the house at you and Dak Prescott. What are you going to do when Chris Jones and Bolton and all of these guys are directly in your face and we're coming after you? That's a mad scientist right there, Steve Spagnuolo.
Question is, who will have a bigger game, Pickens or Lamb? And how many times do we see the squeaky wheel get taken care of? Last week, CeeDee Lamb dropped a number of passes.
Yep.
And after the game and throughout the week, the Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer was very quick to point out, hey, Kansas City, we're throwing the ball to CeeDee Lamb all day long. We're going right back to him. We're not hiding it. They're going back to him. He had a terrible game last week against Philadelphia. He's calling for the ball today. CeeDee Lamb is going to get the ball today. This feels like a CeeDee Lamb day that's ahead in Dallas. I'll be surprised if it's not.
And also, I will add on to that. All the talk has been George Pickens, how George Pickens is the number 1 wide receiver. You don't think that affects CeeDee Lamb and like mentally, like, wait a minute, I'm the guy here. I'm the homegrown guy here. Like, I want to show out on a day where we know it's probably going to be the most watched regular season game in NFL history. So, yeah, we saw the drop. I think CeeDee Lamb has had 7 drops in 2 games. If you don't think he's going to try to redeem himself today on a nationally televised game like against the Chiefs, you got to be kidding me.
Get up on this Thanksgiving. We'll be doing some throwbacks to legendary Thanksgiving moments. The Leon Lett play. D. Wood.
Oh,
stay away from it.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, it hurts my heart every time I see this play.
Leon Lett. It's a live ball off a blocked field goal. Miami would get another chance to kick a field goal, and they would do it. Oft forgotten is that the Cowboys would then not lose another game this season and win the Super Bowl. But people remember this unfortunate blunder by Leon Lett, one of the legendary, not great Thanksgiving moments, but certainly one of the most famous Thanksgiving moments. We'll have more of them as we continue. Meanwhile, let's do a feature that we'll call Thanks for Giving on this Thanksgiving Day. Teams that should be most thankful out there. J-Mac, what team should be thankful?
I'm going to go with Seattle. They got an opportunity to win this guy, Sam Darnold, from the Minnesota Vikings, and he has been unbelievable this year. Don't focus on the 4 interceptions that happened in one game. Get past that. Sam Darnold to Jackson Smith and Jigba has been a perfect combination, and this guy is delivering the football each and every week.
That's a good one. D. Wood, who's another team that should be thankful this Thanksgiving?
How about the Cowboys being thankful for acquiring George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Oof.
You're talking about a guy who's clearly this year has been one of the best, if not the best receiver in the National Football League. You can see the impact that he's had on this Dallas Cowboys offense. And boys, he's setting himself up to get paid after this season.
Yep, got him basically for a 3rd-round pick. And then J-Mac, back to you. Give me one more team that should be thankful.
Well, the holiday season is not only about receiving. Sometimes you have to give some things away as well. So for the Dallas Cowboys, yes, you got Pickens, but you also let this guy walk out of the building. Micah Parsons. The Green Bay Packers are very thankful for your contributions to their defense, and so is Jeff Hafley, their defensive coordinator. It's each and every week this guy is causing so much havoc and chasing your quarterback all around the field.
He might actually ride that Thanksgiving gift all the way to a head coaching job, right?
He's going to be in play. That last play, Micah chasing down Jared Goff. That's the image I have in my mind going into today's rematch in Detroit with Micah chasing that. He looks like he's on the prowl, ready to just swallow up Jared Goff. And he does that today. And that's going to be top of mind for the Detroit Lions today. That's one of the reasons that Frank Ragnow came out of retirement, that the Lions wanted him to come out to help solidify that offensive line that didn't hold up on opening day.
And maybe why he didn't do it last week, so he wouldn't have to deal with this guy today. I said jokingly. So let's talk about that. And Micah Parsons, look, usually when we preview big games, we talk about the quarterbacks. The biggest star on the field in Detroit today is Micah Parsons. Absolutely.
Micah Parsons is an absolute difference maker for the Green Bay Packers defense. And when you talk about the Detroit Lions, one of the reasons why Frank Ragnow is coming back is because of Detroit's inability to protect the passer this year. I think this year, of all years, Detroit, we've always held the Detroit Lions offensive line as one of the best units. Not this year. They've been one of the worst units in the National Football League at protecting Jared Goff. Okay, now you come into Thanksgiving Day playing against one of the best fronts led by that guy, Micah Parsons. That has to be a terrorizing thing, knowing that he terrorizes the first game, and he's going to have an opportunity on the national stage to do it again.
J-Mac has some tape on Micah. Just people hear it. What makes him so special?
What he can do for the guys around him. He's one player, but he makes the 10 other guys on the football field better. And it also enables him to call the game a certain way. So you talk about him terrorizing quarterbacks. You're going to see right here, they're going to play a defense. They're playing zone coverage. For J.J. McCarthy, it started off, and it looked like he was going to get man. He wants to go to Justin Jefferson down the bottom. But when the ball snaps for him, they change the defense. So now he goes to look for him. That play is taken away. Valentine is sitting on the route. Well, now when you go back to get to your second read, Micah Parsons is directly in your face, and now you have no time to get that pass off, enabling everyone else to be better. You talked about Detroit being weak in the middle of their defense. Well, watch where they align Micah Parsons right here. Guys, that's just grown man football. There's nothing for me to tell you about how great technique. He just runs another man over and forces the quarterback out the pocket. Those are the things and the ways that Micah Parsons hurts.
It's a good reminder. He was an off-the-ball linebacker at Penn State.
Yes.
That's why he wasn't drafted third. It's why he fell back. The Cowboys traded back and got him when they selected him. He was an off-the-ball linebacker who was turned into one of the two best pass rushers in the sport alongside Myles Garrett. So we have that. Joe, meanwhile, in the bigger picture, your number one take on this game, I think, is critical.
It's for the division. And I know that sounds bold with the month plus to go in the year, but if you project out all the permutations, this game is going to be for the division. Bears are going to lose tomorrow to Philadelphia, and the way their schedule sets up, plus what we've seen from them throughout the year, they're going to fade. Minnesota's already dead, so it's a two-horse race. Detroit loses this game today. They are buried behind Green Bay in the standings. Detroit wins this game today. You look at what the Lions have the rest of the way and the Packers. Neither one of them has an easy schedule. Couple layups in there, couple tough games. Winner of this game goes on to win the division.
Has no chance of getting to the Super Bowl. That's not me saying it. That's history saying it. Look at this. Going back over the last 15 years, the only two teams to reach the Super Bowl, and they both won it, but the only two teams to reach the Super Bowl as a wild card in the last 15 years had Aaron Rodgers at his peak and Tom Brady as their starting quarterbacks, and that's it. So if you were a wild card in the current structure where you got to go on the road and win 3 road games, it is next to impossible to do. So especially if you're the Packers, who came into this, for both. But I'm thinking of the Lions playing at home, who have been so close the last few years. Have they missed their window? You lose today, your chances of getting to the Super Bowl are almost none.
What's the last image we have of Detroit playing outdoors? And by the way, I think Detroit is a great team, capable of winning the Super Bowl title. But what's the last image we have right now of the Lions playing outdoors?
In Philly?
At Philadelphia. They scored 6 points. So they'd have to go on the road and win 3 times probably outdoors, I'm
Yep.
going to assume. Maybe it's indoors in LA, who knows? But it's going to be 3 tough road games if they have to go the wild card route, which is why today's game is so critical to the Detroit Lions.
They would have to be, I mean, just think about the places they would most likely wind up having to go. Some combination of Philadelphia, Green Bay, Chicago, if the Bears do hold on and win it. All these
Seattle.
places
Seattle
outdoors,
would be a
cold.
nightmare.
Seattle, brutal place to go and play. So, I mean, this is for a shot at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we're looking at this. We're talking about Jared Goff because the screen that you just put up there, we saw Brady and we saw Rodgers.
Right.
And what we've seen from them, especially their offense, is when you've attacked them in the middle and you force Jared Goff to get off the spot, he's been a little bit of a different quarterback. So in order for them to do that, they have to win this football game. And I think they can. This is going to be a great game. And you're going to look down on this and you're going to say, who played better? Was it Jared Goff or was it Jordan Love in those moments to make that play to put their team over the top?
You like the Packers in this one, Joe, as an underdog?
I think this is the hardest handicap of the 3 games today, but I'll take the 3. Detroit has played 3 games this year against top 10 scoring defenses. 3. One was against Green Bay, one was against Philly, one was against Kansas City. They lost all 3. They averaged 13 points per game. They got offensive line issues. They got issues in the secondary. The Packers take them out today.
To the point, the Lions' offensive statistics look pretty good in the aggregate, but you were telling us this morning they've feasted on lesser
I
competition.
think 7 of their 11 games have come against teams ranking 18th or worse in scoring defense. They beat up on the Giants last week with big numbers, the Commanders with big numbers. Remember the Commanders game? That's when Campbell took over play calling duties. We thought it was wonderful. It was more a byproduct of the opponent than it was what they were doing offensively.
Yeah.